Hey everyone, close your eyes for a second and picture this. You're alone in your dim kitchen, the only light coming from the fridge you forgot to close. And your phone is pressed so hard to your ear it hurts. Your mom's voice soft, apologetic, like she's delivering bad news to a stranger says, "We're doing Thanksgiving different this year." Ava, small, elegant. Alex, your sister's fiancé. He really wants classy photos for their announcement. And your uniform, honey? The way it smells like garlic and tomato sauce even after you wash it. It would just ruin the pictures. Your throat closes. You feel your knees buckle a little, but all you manage is a tiny, cracked whisper. Okay, got it. You hang up. The phone slips from your fingers and clatters on the counter. And in that moment, the silence is louder than any scream. Because your own parents just told you their daughter are not welcome at their table. Not good enough. Not clean enough. Not worthy enough. But the next morning, they don't call. They don't text. They show up. All of them. Pounding on your door like you've committed a crime. Faces flushed. Eyes accusing. And when that fiancé, Alex finally locks eyes with you after months of pretending you don't exist, one sentence falls out of his mouth. One single trembling sentence. And the entire room goes deathly still, like someone just ripped the oxygen out of the air. If that twist already has your stomach in knots, if you can feel how much that kind of family rejection burns, stay. Hit subscribe right now. We're in this together, real stories, real pain, real comebacks. And please, comment below. Where are you watching from? Denver? Somewhere snowy? Somewhere rainy? Tell me you're here. It matters more than you know, okay? Deep breath. My name is Ava Thompson. I'm 32. I live in Denver, Colorado, right in the heart of Capitol Hill, where the streets smell like pine and coffee most mornings, and the mountains feel close enough to touch. But somehow, I've always felt miles away from the people who are supposed to love me most. Growing up, it was me and Sophia. She's 29 now, still the golden one, always has been. I can still see it so clearly. Me at 14, proud as hell because I got Employee of the Month at the ice cream shop I worked at after school. I ran home to show them the little certificate. Mom glanced at it, smiled politely, then turned to Sophia and said, "Look at your sister's beautiful solo she did in dance class today." I stood there holding the paper, feeling it crumple in my fist. Dad didn't even look up from the TV. "Good job, kid," he muttered. That was it. Good job. Like I was a og who fetched a paper. They never said I wasn't loved. They just loved her louder. She got the new phone when hers cracked. I got "You're responsible. You'll save up." She got the study abroad semester in Italy. I got "Community college is smart." Ava, you're practical. Practical. The word still stings like a slap. I left at 19. Worked my way through night classes. Ended up at Luigi's Trattoria. It's this warm little Italian place, wood beams, candlelight. The kind of spot where people propose over tiramisu. I love it there. Even on the nights my feet throb and my apron is splattered with red sauce. The uniform is nothing special. Black pants, white shirt, long black apron tied tight. It smells like home-cooked food. Like effort. Like me. Sophia's life looked like a magazine. Marketing job downtown. Cute loft. Then Alex appeared. Tall, expensive cologne. Smile that never quite reached his eyes. I met him once at a 4th of July barbecue in the backyard. He shook my hand like I was the caterer. "Nice to meet you, Ava." Barely looked at me. Sophia clung to his arm, eyes shining. Mom whispered to Dad, "He's from such a good family." Dad nodded like it was gospel. "Perfect for our Soph." I smiled, swallowed the lump, told myself it didn't matter. But it did. Thanksgiving was always our thing. Dad's turkey, Mom's pies, me rushing over after the lunch rush, still smelling faintly of basil, but they'd hug me anyway. This year, the text started early. "Sophia wants it elegant." Alex suggested candles and white tablecloths. I pictured myself there, apron off, hair down, finally part of the picture. Then the call came. Night before. Mom's voice thin, rehearsed. "Ava, we've decided to keep it intimate." I gripped the counter. "Intimate?" "Alex wants the photos to be perfect for their engagement announcement. And if you come straight from Luigi's, the uniform, it's just not going to match." My ears rang. You're uninviting me? It's not like that, honey. It's 1 year. You understand, right? You're so good at understanding. I felt something crack inside my chest. Yeah, I whispered. I understand. Dad came on the line. It's not personal, kiddo. Alex is used to a certain level. We don't want Sophia embarrassed. Embarrassed? Of me. Their daughter. I hung up, sank to the floor, pressed my forehead to the cold tile. Tears came hot and fast. I didn't sob loud, I sobbed quiet. The way you do when you're afraid someone might hear how broken you are. I whispered to the empty room, over and over. They chose him. They chose a stranger over me. I stayed there for hours, chest so tight I could barely breathe, wondering if I'd ever been anything more than the backup plan. But in that darkness, something else flickered. Not just pain, a tiny cold spark. Because what I did next, what I started planning in the quiet while they were laughing over wine and turkey, was going to make every single one of them wish they'd never looked away from me. Okay, so after that call, I didn't move from the kitchen floor for what felt like forever. My back was against the cabinets, legs pulled up tight, arms wrapped around myself like that could hold all the pieces together. The apartment was dead quiet except for the low hum of the fridge and my own uneven breathing. Every few minutes a fresh wave of hurt would crash in and I'd press my palm to my chest because it literally ached, like someone had reached inside and squeezed. I kept hearing Mom's voice on loop. You're so good at understanding. Understanding. That word felt like a knife now. Understanding meant swallowing everything. Understanding meant smiling while they celebrated Sophia's milestones and pretended mine didn't exist. Understanding meant I was the one who never made a scene, so they never had to look at how much it cost me. Around 2:30 a.m. I finally stood up, legs numb, eyes swollen, and grabbed my laptop. My hands were shaking so bad the keys felt slippery. I typed his name, Alexander James Whitaker. The screen lit up my face like an accusation. Finance guy from the suburbs. Polished LinkedIn. Sophia's stories. Him kissing her temple at some rooftop bar downtown. Caption my whole future. I stared at the photo until my vision blurred. And then the memory didn't just come back, it slammed into me so hard. I dropped the laptop onto the couch. 4 years ago I was 28, working every shift Luigi's would give me, coming home smelling like oregano and exhaustion. Met Alex at a friend's patio party in Wash Park. He was charming in that effortless way, brought me a drink without asking. Listened when I talked about wanting to open my own little cafe someday. He said, "You've got fire in you, Ava. Don't let anyone dim it." We fell into something intense fast. Late night drives up to Lookout Mountain, his hand on my thigh, whispering, "I see you, really see you. I'm not going anywhere." Then the pneumonia hit, bad. Couldn't breathe without wheezing. Returned into 5 days inpatient. Oxygen mask fogging up with every terrified exhale. Bills started arriving before I was even discharged. He came on day 3, sat on the edge of the bed, held both my hands, looked straight into my eyes through the tears and said, slow and serious, "Listen to me. I love you. We're getting through this. I'm staying right here. You're not doing this alone." I believed him, clung to those words like a rope in the dark. The next morning he texted, "Work emergency. I'll call later." Later never came. Texts went unread. Calls straight to voicemail. A week after discharge, my friend sent a screenshot. Alex at a brewery with some woman, arm around her waist, both laughing. I remember sitting on my bathroom floor, phone in my lap, staring at that picture until my eyes burned. I whispered to myself, "He said he loved me." He looked me in the eye and said it. Then I threw up into the toilet, blocked him, deleted everything, told myself it was better this way. Buried it so deep I almost forgot the shape of the pain. Until Sophia posted her ring. Same man. Same half smile. My little sister was wearing the promise he shattered on my hospital floor. And now my parents were polishing the silver for him, while quietly erasing me from the holiday table because my apron didn't match the aesthetic. I sat there in the blue glow of the screen, tears dripping onto the keyboard, and hissed through clenched teeth, "No, not again. You don't get to rewrite my story and call it elegant." I started saving every old text I'd kept in a hidden folder, screenshots of him saying forever while messaging other girls. That one photo from Red Rocks, his arm around me at sunset. Deleted from his Instagram years ago but still living in my phone like a ghost. Then I texted Jenna, a girl who'd worked in his office back then. 3:47 a.m. Jenna. It's Ava. Alex is engaged to my sister. Tell me I'm imagining things. She answered at 7:19 a.m. Ava, I'm so sorry. You're not imagining. He's done versions of this to 3 women I know personally. I have old chain emails, DMs, even a voice memo where he brags about playing the field. Do you want them? My fingers hovered. Then, yes, send everything. Please. Thanksgiving Day passed in a blur. I stayed in pajamas, drank cold coffee, watched the family chat explode with pictures, Sophia in cream silk, laughing, Alex raising a glass with Dad, Mom's caption blessed beyond measure. No miss you, Ava. No empty chair with my name on it. Just absence. I cried until my face hurt. Quiet, choking sobs that made my whole body shake. But every tear hardened something inside me. Then, Black Friday morning, the buzzer rips through the silence. I stumble to the peephole, all 4 of them. Mom's face pale and pinched. Dad's shoulders slumped. Sophia's eyes red and furious. Alex standing tall, arms crossed, like he's already won. I open the door just enough. Voice flat. What do you want? Mom steps forward, voice trembling. Ava, we need to come in. Sophia saw your posts. The vague ones about family and loyalty. She's devastated. She thinks you're trying to ruin her engagement. I laugh short, bitter, broken. Ruin it? You ruined me first. One holiday. One. And you chose him over your own daughter. Sophia pushes past Mom, voice cracking. You couldn't just stay quiet? For once in your life, Ava, couldn't you let me have something without making it about your hurt feelings? Dad rubs his face. We're not here to fight. We need to know why you're doing this to your sister. Alex hasn't spoken. He's watching me, calculating, waiting. I look straight at him. My voice comes out low, shaking but steady. You want to tell them, Alex? Or should I remind you about the hospital bed? The promises? The way you held my hand and swore you'd stay? His eyes flicker panic, just for a second. Mom frowns. Ava, what are you talking about? Sophia snaps. Stop lying. You're embarrassing all of us. I take one step closer to him. Say it. Say my name. Say you knew exactly who I was when you slid that ring on my sister's finger. He swallows, opens his mouth. Ava, I thought you'd never tell them about us. The hallway goes silent. Completely. Like the world forgot how to make sound. Sophia's face crumples. What did you just say? Mom's hand FLIs to her mouth. A tiny, strangled gasp. Dad sways. Alex. And me? I stand there, heart slamming against my ribs, tears burning fresh tracks down my cheeks. But for the first time in years, I don't feel small. What happened in the next 10 minutes? It tore everything open. The lies, the favoritism, the truth they'd all ignored for so long. And how I finally stopped understanding and started demanding to be seen. Okay. The second Alex said those words, Ava, I thought you'd never tell them about us. The hallway turned into a graveyard of secrets. No one moved. Sophia's breath hitched like she'd been punched. Her eyes locked on him, wide and glassy, searching for the lie she needed to believe. Mom made this tiny, wounded sound deep in her throat, hand trembling over her heart. Dad's face hardened into something I'd never seen, pure, quiet rage. Sophia's voice came out cracked, barely above a whisper. Us? You and Ava? You dated my sister? And you never said a word? Alex's mouth opened, closed. He looked cornered. Soph, it was nothing. Ancient history. I didn't even connect the dots at first. I swear. Nothing? I stepped forward, my voice shaking but clear. You sat by my hospital bed while I couldn't breathe without help. You held my hand so tight it hurt. Looked me dead in the eyes and said, I'm not leaving you, Ava. We're in this forever. Then you vanished. Left me alone with machines beeping and nurses who didn't know my name. Left me wondering every single day why I wasn't worth staying for. Tears spilled down my cheeks, hot and unstoppable. And then you found Sophia, my little sister. You saw her picture on my phone. Once asked who she was with that fake curious smile. You knew exactly who she was to me. And you still pursued her, still let my family love you like you were some gift. Mom's knees buckled. She grabbed the wall. Ava, The hospital? You were that sick? And we didn't come? I looked at her, chest heaving. I told you I was fine, because I knew what you'd say. You're strong, Ava. You'll get through it. So I got through it alone. And I jabbed a finger at Alex. He made sure I felt like I deserved to be alone. Dad's voice was low, lethal. You used my daughters, both of them, and you stood in my house, shaking my hand, smiling at my wife, while you carried this? Alex tried one last time. You're twisting it. Ava's jealous. She always has been. Sophia screamed. Stop. She ripped the ring off, fingers shaking so violently it took 2 tries. It hit the floor with a sharp ping and skittered away. We're done. Get out of my life. Get out of my family. Alex reached for her. Sophia, please. Dad shoved him back hard. You heard her. Leave. Before I make you. Alex stumbled, face flushed with humiliation, then turned and ran down the stairs. The door slammed so loud it echoed. Silence again. Sophia collapsed against the wall, sobbing into her hands. I loved him. I built my whole future around him. And he hurt you like that? I dropped beside her, pulled her into my arms. She clung to me like she was 5 again. I'm sorry, she choked out. I'm so sorry I didn't see it. I'm so sorry I let him in. Mom sank down too, wrapping us both up. Her tears soaked my shoulder. We failed you, baby. We failed you so badly. I see it now, all of it. Dad stood over us, tears streaming down his weathered face. I should have protected you, both of you. I won't fail again. We stayed there on the cold floor, holding each other, crying the kind of tears that wash away years of silence. The betrayal was over. The healing, the real, painful, beautiful healing was just beginning. But the ending that made every broken piece worth it, that came in the quiet months after. A year later, so fell soft and steady. Outside hearth and bloom, the calf glowed like a lantern against the Denver night, warm lights spilling onto the sidewalk, string lights twinkling inside like captured stars. I stood behind the counter, apron tied, hands dusted with flour, watching the last customers linger over their coffee. A young mom rocked her baby in the corner booth, whispering lullabies. An old man read the paper, smiling at nothing in particular. My place. My hearth. Sophia flipped the closed sign with me. She bumped my shoulder, eyes shining. You did it, sis. Look at this. Look at what you built. I swallowed hard. We built it. She shook her head. No, this is yours. I just got to watch you bloom. Mom and Dad arrived right on time, like every Sunday. Dad carried a small poinsettia for the table, he said gruffly, but his eyes were soft. Mom hugged me from behind while I wiped down the espresso machine. It smells like home in here, she murmured against my hair. Like love, like you. We sat together at the big wooden table, the one we'd sanded and stained ourselves. No phones, no rushing, just us. Dad cleared his throat, voice thick. I think about that day in the hallway every morning. The way I almost lost both my girls because I was too blind to see what was right in front of me. I'm sorry, Ava. I'll spend the rest of my life making it right. I reached across and took his hand. You're here now. That's enough. Mom's eyes filled. We love you so much. We always did. We just forgot how to show it. But we remember now, every single day. Sophia leaned her head on my shoulder. You're my hero. You know that. Not because you exposed him, because you chose to keep going, to build something beautiful out of pain. Tears slipped down my cheeks, quiet ones this time. Happy ones. I looked around at the empty calf, at the scratches on the counter from 1,000 cups poured with care, at the family sitting with me not because they had to, but because they wanted to. I whispered, I used to feel like I didn't belong anywhere, like I was the extra piece that didn't fit. But this, I gestured to the room. To them, this is where I fit. This is home. Dad's voice cracked. You've always belonged with us. We just took too long to prove it. We stayed until the snow stopped, talking, laughing, crying a little more. When they left, hugging me tight at the door, I locked up alone. The calf was silent except for the soft tick of the cooling oven. I stood in the middle of the room, lights low, heart full, and for the first time in my life, I didn't feel small. I felt whole. I pressed my hand to my chest and said aloud, to the empty space that once held so much hurt, we made it, Ava. We really made it. If you've ever felt erased, unworthy, not enough, please hear this. Your worth was never in their eyes. It was always in yours. One day you'll build your own hearth, light your own bloom. And when you do, the people who matter will finally see the light they almost lost. That's not just the end of the story. That's the beginning of every beautiful thing after. Thank you for walking this with me. If it touched your heart, tell me in the comments where you're watching from, or one small dream you're ready to chase. We're all blooming together. See you soon.